Hello, everybody! It is your Professor Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Age of Sigmar video. And this Rocco reacts. Well, Games Workshop have gone on the Warhammer community site to talk about the Beast of Chaos book coming out. And in the cards above here, I'll link our prediction video. So let's see at the beginning just, how much we got right. Are gore gonna be good? Are there gonna be buffs to big monsters? What did they tease and release yet? There haven't been any official playtester leaks of the Battletome, and that's okay. They caught the last leaker with a watermarked copy of their thing. So now this is what we got to work with. So let's get on with the video. Let's start off with one. Love this. Love the paint jobs. Yes, there's older models, but look at the new head goat. Beast herd ambush. I'm very excited about this. This is one of the new rules. This is a very thematic thing for the Beast of Chaos because in the lore, their whole thing is just ambushing people in the woods, tearing down civilization, being jerks, and there's three things I really want to talk about with this, and I'll just read the rule. During deployment, instead of setting up a Beasts of Chaos unit on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say that it is set up in ambush as a reserve unit. At the end of your first and second movement phases, you can set up any friendly reserve units that are in ambush on the battlefield wholly within 9 inches of the battlefield edge and more than 9 inches away from all enemy units. At the start of the third battle round, Beast of Chaos units that are still in reserve are destroyed. Add 1 to charge rolls for friendly Beast of Chaos units that are set up on the battlefield in the same turn. Alright, so it might even be 4 things with this rule. 1. That first sentence during your deployment, instead of setting up Beast of Chaos on the battlefield, put it to one side. That means you can have your whole army in reserves. You can null deploy. You can go in, because people, you win or lose in deployment sometimes. Well, really, it's you can lose in deployment, and you really shouldn't be able to win, but, you can just not give your opponent something to deploy against and say, good luck, hope you have a plan. That's really cool, because usually it's you have to put 1 unit on the table to 1 in reserve, however they end up doing it. And that is just awesome and flavorful for them. They get a cool version of this. Great. And then the, first and second movement phases, there used to be a sub-faction that allowed you to do that, Darkwalkers. So I don't know what's going to be the new Darkwalkers rule if they're keeping that sub-faction name. But the other part of that is wholly within 9 of a battlefield edge. Normally it's 6. And that's like the problem with armies that have this reserve mechanic coming in from the sides. 9 inches on the smaller tables of 3rd edition is a lot of latitude. And again, add 1 to charge rolls as well. Now, they also go on to say in the article that you get a charge bonus. Actually, it's the next sentence. Because you also have musicians that give you pluses to charge. So all of a sudden, your 9-inch charge away is really like a 7. That is very doable. That's the average on 2 dice, actually, that you'd use to charge. And that farther away from the battlefield edge, that means people have to screen out a lot harder. You're deep striking. It's going to be hard to deal with them. It's going to be a really interesting time. And I'm excited for this. This is great. This makes the army feel like it's that creeping dread coming up at you for all these monsters you hear in the woods. Also, the great mass of gores end up doing some things, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. So charge bonus, even your general can hang back for a while and they'll still generate command points each turn while they're in reserves. that's really cool. This is the first time we really have had heroes do stuff off the board, you know? And they're full of Galatian champions, the Beast of Chaos, which is this is really cool. And the great massive gores at the heart of every beast herd can make a well-timed ambush even more decisive with a gore stampede. That's right, the humble gore, the guy we've been worried about that there was no place in the book in our other video. When a big enough war band of gores lands a charge, that's their unit, they'll stun an unlucky enemy into striking last on a roll of a 3-up. You have to take like a tree lord for this kind of a thing. If cheap units of gores, as long as they have so many models in a unit, can do this, they have a reason to be in the army now. You know, you you always took Ungor Raiders for some shooting and pregame movement stuff. That I don't know if that pregame movement's still in the army. That's not teased in this article. But you take Bestigor for being really great in melee. But if you could actually set up an always strikes last, that just opens up so many things for how glass cannony this army is. This is a true, unlike like Daughters of Cain that have their feel no pains there to ignore damage. This is should be and should always be a true glass cannon army creeping in from the table to jump everybody in a flash of fur and blood and violence and axes. This is great. Or Stampede, there it is, under your charge phase. If this unit made a charge move in the same turn, pick one enemy unit within 1 inch that has fewer models than this unit and roll a dice. On a 3 or higher, the strike last effect applies to that enemy unit in the following combat phase. And you just need 2 gore in a unit to make a hero fight last. And it's also if this unit makes the charge move. That means it's not limited to 1 unit of gore, like the monstrous rampage of the Tree Lords in Sylvaneth. This is fantastic. Again, gore now have a reason to be taken in the army. I'm very excited. The poster child was the gore. And it was just ignored and left out for other things. We have a purpose. It's not just to pass the butter. Great. Alright, Slongor get a buff. Here, they get an extra attack and they're damage 2, which you see the size of these claws. They should have always been damage 2 and did more. But being a unit of 3 in the Slanesh book was a bit disappointing, so they're on the right track. That's a 2-for-2 improvement. I'm happy with that. Once per game, Slongor can fight twice in a single combat phase, but striking last the second time. That's cool. We've seen things like that with Varangard being really cool. Some Fire Slayer stuff is like that. That is a really cool mechanic. That's not everywhere. That is something that makes the Slongor unique. Again, very happy with this. It makes sense. They're so obsessive. They're overdoing it. Getting caught up. Even the humble Ungor Raiders are empowered. Okay. A hidden volley will keep your enemies from getting too comfortable around the battlefield edges once per game. These goat-faced gorillas get to shoot from reserves. This is the first time ever in a Warhammer game we get this kind of a thing. And once per battle, at the start of your movement phase, if this unit is in reserve, you can pick a point on the battlefield edge and say that this unit will unleash a hidden volley. If you do so, this unit... I'm going to scroll up to have our little buddy in the picture. Yeah, screw it. If you do so, this unit can shoot in that phase, but it must target the closest enemy unit to that point. If more than one enemy unit is tied for the closest, you can pick which is the target. Love it. Love it. Because Ungor Raiders are not battle line. And traditionally, they're very bad archers. So we're probably looking at a 2 shots, forced to hit, forced to wound profile once per game, just to keep people honest. If they lost the pregame movement and get this for some incidental shooting that everyone and their grandmother can screen out, I'm okay with that. If this allows you to actually shoot off a screen so that you can set up, um, it's because it's at the start of your movement phase. You get even out of phase shooting because reserves come in at the end of the movement phase. So I guess technically you get to fire twice, once per game with this unit if you immediately pop out of reserves after you do the shooting to clear the way for your units to come on the table. Again, every army can just have some cheap little unit screening table edges to stop you from doing this. But this gives you the first shot to try to clear that. It lets both players be involved in the game where, cool, you get this really cool mechanic, but see if you can be smart about using it. Love it. Absolutely love this. Again, only the beginning for these primeval slaughterers. Uh, Wait until you try one of the new rituals of ruin. I'm really hoping this is gonna be about stuff to do with the herdstone, where we get more mechanics with that. And again, we've got all right. So somehow these jerks, the Ungor Raiders, got better. Arguably, Slongor got better. Nobody saw that coming. And the humble Gore is gonna have its time in the sun. I am so happy. I want to see people bring like three, like their battle line, our Gore. 3 units of Gore, 3 units of tent have a purpose instead of just being thrown on the summoning points barbecue or sent out to die horribly. Yeah, this is giving me hope for the Gorgon and the Cygor to get the update they deserve as a kit. This is giving me hope. And again, I'm an elf player. I'm a wood elf player from Warhammer Fantasy. I respect the rivalry that we have with the Beastmen. Obviously, in Age of Sigmar, Alariel's children are not really elves, but they got turned into tree spirits, the ones that stayed loyal to her and died. But also, we're beefing with Nurgle. So I want to see where they take the new narrative direction for our old rivals, and maybe get to actually mess up some honest to god beastmen instead of 20 cockatrices. This is gonna be really cool, and it's 3 units that all of a sudden are viable, are usable. Along with the rest of the book, we might actually see a world which we've seen in honestly almost every third edition book, minus maybe Mega Gargants, where there's more than one viable list in an army book. That when this book is huge, it's going to have decent internal balance. And third edition is just going to keep chugging right along. And the Beasts of Chaos are primed to be good with this current General's Handbook that focuses on foot heroes. If the Bulgor leader hero model, I forget what it's actually called, is 9 wounds and fits being a Galatian champ, that's amazing. And again, the new Beast Lord's gonna be the Great Bray Shamans. You usually take at least 2 of are gonna be. If you were going for like a Zangor, just don't put it on the disc. Save yourself some points, and you're cool. I wonder if the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is gonna count as being mounted because he's really a centaur. So I don't know. We'll find out. And this is just all giving me hope. You know? Beautiful artwork. There's some Sylvaneth with the new Revenant Riders. All the monsters that everyone was kind of worried about not being in the new book, being cut for whatever, are there. And I always like leaving the little asterisks. Like, don't worry, we've all been checked for the Turnskin Plague. We're clean. Which is the whole like how you get turned into a beastman is really you're a normal person or a farm animal and you get turned one way or the other, combined through horrible chaos magic to mutate. Um and also the charge thing, here we go. That's on top of the charge bonus now offered by musicians, available to everyone from armored bestigors to hulking bulgors. So yeah, we will get +2 to charge out of reserves with this army. They can come 9 inches away from a table edge. So functionally, they're like 11 inches away from a table edge with that +2 for the threat range. And then, add in the 12 inches for the most that they could do for a charge. So, for 11. So that's going to be 23 inches of effective range from a table edge. That's really freaking cool. That's really freaking cool. Um, I'm happy. I'm excited. I want to see the Beast of Chaos have their moment in the sun. I know this probably is a little bit extra hyped. I know this isn't the normal Rocco. We talk about tactics and answer my questions. But this is really freaking cool. If you have questions that you want me to cover in future videos, you're like, oh, how do I use this army? Or how do I stand up against this kind of deep striking? We'll say it in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, all the YouTuber stuff. But, I'm just excited for this right now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming to class. As I like to say at the end of all of our videos, class dismissed. Bye.